Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a step-by-step tutorial of how to do roses even from a beginner. So we're going to draw 3 basic roses in each different step of progression. So the first one we're going to do is very simple. You start off with 2 little U's on each side, and then 2 more little U's. And you keep doing this, expanding a little bit every time, just keeping a general looping shape. When you've gotten it to a decent size, you start from the center, and you'll loop the first one to make the center point, and then you're just going to join the edge of each of these petals to the rest of your rose. This will create a very basic loop shape, but give you a general basis or to what your rose is supposed to look like. And of course, make sure you always have an eraser handy so that you can fix any mistakes you make, or if you just don't like something, you can change it. So this is just a very basic start. So it's very rounded, but it gives you the general idea of the petals and the spacing, and it's very simple to learn. Now step 2, we're going to make it a little more difficult. So we're going to start off with a little circle here, little spiral, and then we're going to end it like this. Then we're going to start on one end. We're just going to loop it a little more, make it a little oval. And I'm going to do that again. Make sure they're a little more oval, not super round. And then you can start to change it up, and you want to make it like uneven a little bit, add some different shapes. That's a little too loopy, but and then you can add like sharp shapes, because sometimes, you know, roses fall apart. Natural. It's a little too loopy, but again, this is just, you can have fun with it, figure out what you like. And now you have another basic rose, not super complicated. Now we're going to combine all the previous steps we learned, and we're going to make one that looks a little more realistic. So again, start with the basic center spiral rose. And then, so the petals are closer toward the center, so we're going to make the first petals very close together, not much spacing. And then right about this point, you're going to start to make your petals a little further out, like so. You can add some curvature to them, and then like add in the occasional sharp one. And then, this is when it really makes it look a lot more realistic. I'm going to bring this one out, go in and out like this, and then I'm going to join the edges here, and now it looks like the petal has curved inward. So now you can make your petals curve inward to make them look a little more realistic. You can do it sharp or rounded. And you just keep experimenting with it so you have it like how you like it. This one's a little more rounder than I like it, and you can add more sharper edges. You can just always go back in with an eraser and just make it a little more sharp. And you just keep doing that until you're happy with it. But now you have a basic rose. The next step, we're going to start shading. Now, we're going to start with the basic shading of form shadow, starting from the inside of the petal, the edges of the leaves, inside edge. I'm just going to make a dark line all the way around. And you're just following the form of the petal. That's why it's called form shadow. And you're starting dark, and you're just going to practice shading. I have a video about the dark and lights of shadows on my channel if you guys want to go check that out. I explain all the different types of shadow and light. And now there's another little shadow under this petal here. Now that's actually cast shadow here because of the light being underneath the petal. And then do a little bit from the edge here as well. I forgot to pick a light source, but generally my default light source is just straight down, like from top to bottom. But you can pick from the side or different sides underneath. I usually just go straight on top as my default. But picking a light source is important to understand where the shadows are coming from. Okay, and now you just do that with all of your petals and come back when you're done. Alright, now once you've finished shading in your rose like so, the only last step is to take your eraser. I have a nice electric razor, but you can use regular fine tip, whatever you have on hand, and add your highlights. So you can see where it's already lighter, but I want it a little more accentuated in some places. So I'll just add a little bit more white in some of those areas. Now I'll just take my blending stuff and clean it up a little bit. And there you go. There's how to draw a